everybody, it's Jack Devine coming to you today with a little early morning bluegrass tutorial. Hope you're doing well. Let's talk about Wildwood Flower. It's out of the C position, and it's a C chord to a G chord, and then the bridge has a little F to it. All right, so it's just 3 chords, pretty simple platform, but a really classic song from the Carter family. And I'll teach you a couple of different ideas about how to approach playing it in a bluegrassy style. All right, so first things first, let's tackle the melody. So it starts on E, that's the 3rd of our C chord. So that's E, F, G, right? 1, 2, 3, like that. So these are all downstrokes. And it's important that you do it like that. Keep yourself kind of in this position here with the middle finger on the E and the index finger on the C note, B string, 1st fret, right? All right, because we're playing out of this C chord, and the idea is if you're strumming, you want to be able to just get loose with it, and if you hit this note or this note or this note, it's all going to make a nice resonant sound, okay? So make sure you kind of hold this A minor 7 shape, which is actually functioning as the top part of a C chord. Then we're going to put our index finger stays put, but the middle finger comes down to the G string here and hits this A note, okay? And then so A, C, back to E, then F, E, D, so. And then F, D, C, but that's not F. That was B. Sorry, my apologies, everybody. B, D, C. And then we round it out by going. So we're just pedaling on the C chord there, and we go 1, 5, 1. Right? And that little arpeggio we'll get to in a minute. Okay, so all in the melody. Repeat. Now the B part of the melody. So the B part is, again, it's the top part of that C chord. So we start on the open G string, and there's the C note there at the 1st fret B string. That's an open E string. So see how that's the top part of the C chord. Then D on the B string there. That's an open B string. Some people play B flat there. I'm not that fond of that arrangement though. Okay, so that's A. That's C, A, G. And then back to our opening melody. So, now that we've got the full, complete melody, let's work on filling in some of those gaps, right? We've got gap, gap, gap. So, the easiest way to do that is do a downstroke. Melody, downstroke, downstroke, like that kind of thing. So just a downstroke after we play our little melody, downstroke. So all in. let's try down up. See how we're starting to build upon the foundation? Now we've filled in the thing, we've filled in the melody, the gaps left in the melody. Well, now we're starting to subdivide it, and it's getting a little bit more complicated. Now, let's look at the B section, same kind of thing. And at that point, I think we're kind of done with a basic rendering of the tune, all right? Tune in to part 2 of this lesson, and we'll look at a little bit more advanced studies on it, all right? I hope you guys are having a good day, and it's good to see you guys, all right? Take care. Keep picking. This is going to be a basic cross-picking arrangement that I learned very early in my interest in this genre of music. If you're unfamiliar with cross-picking, there's some tutorials online by other teachers and as well as myself. But the basic roll that we're going to be using here is we're taking the measure and dividing it into 8 notes, eighth notes. We're going 2 groups of 3, and then a group of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. The tricky bit of all this business, though, is you're alternating your pick stroke throughout that. So you have a down, up, down. And you got to come all the way back up to the D string on an upstroke, and that can be challenging for some players. So down, upstroke, down, upstroke, like that. And my suggestion is that after that third downstroke, I guess it's the second downstroke, it's the third pick stroke of the sequence, down, up, down, that you don't stop and then turn and then come back up, but create almost like a looping, almost like you were sewing or something, something very fluid where you want to, not that I sew, but I've seen images of people doing it, and it looks like they want to get into a rhythmic, fluid thing. You want to create almost like a J or a hook, something like that. And you're going to need to, after that, you're going to need to kind of rotate your wrist a little bit. Okay, and the idea is to keep it loose, don't stiffen up in here, okay, because you're going to be doing this kind of on autopilot. Okay, and there is another component of that where you can do where you're starting on the B string rather than the D string, but we don't use that in this arrangement, okay? So, the chords I'm going to assume that you're familiar with, but it's just C, G, and F, okay? So the song starts with a couple of pickup notes, and that's going to be on the E and F, okay? And the melody, if you're unfamiliar, so how we're going to fill that in is rather than strumming, we're going to be arpeggiating it kind of like the way a banjo would, with that roll, that down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, or is it down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Sorry, it is a bit of a tongue twister even for the fingers. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go, and then we're gonna start on the G string doing our roll. Like that. I did a hammer on. I'll do it both ways. So this is just gonna be straight. Now we start our roll. That's our first roll, okay? So over this top 3 notes of the C chord, we're going to go. So that's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And on the second group of 3, we put down the finger onto the melody note of the A there on the G string. So like that, okay? So that big upstroke that I was talking about, that also coincides with moving your left hand finger to the G string, okay? And then we're going to take that whole same picking pattern and bring it up a string set, start on the D string. So again, it's just not hammering on, but bringing the ring finger up to the 3rd fret, F note on the D string. So all in. And we change. Then open. And then we're going to come back to the E note with that. And then to C. Okay, so let's look at that. Very soothing sound once you get the roll moving smoothly, okay? It will take some time, so don't feel bad if you have to sit down and kind of watch TV for a couple of movies. I tend to practice it on the harmonic at the 12th fret, or even here if I want it to be quieter. That way I don't bother everybody. This is loud, you know. Can get on people's nerves in their house, so you know you're doing it enough when people start to throw stuff at you. All right, so so that's the second way of doing it. Okay, that's with a little hammer onto those notes. Okay, you can see this thing up. Make it sound really quite ornate. Okay, so the basic way, just playing it straight. Add some chords. Add the cross-picking. Okay. Now let's look at the cross-picking arrangement for the time where it kind of comes up. Right, that's an interesting one. So I'll be back in a second with that. So the most complicated part is this bit coming up. This is where we build over the C chord and take it to the F, okay? So we're going to introduce a backwards roll and the dominant 7th sound to create tension from the 1 chord, C, to the 4 chord, F, okay? So we're going to start this with a couple of pickup notes and then start in earnest our backwards roll on the high E string. So if you haven't been practicing, this is kind of the antithesis of the first roll we were doing, which is still starts on a downstroke on a downbeat, okay? So, okay? So there's no fretting there other than the index finger on the C note. Until we go, that's the pinky on the D note, or you could use a ring finger. I use the ring. And that's how we're going to create the sound of the 7th chord. So clear enough on the right hand picking, and the left hand is, so we're going chromatically, but rather than going, we're using the open string. And now we're geared up to go back into our forward roll. So that's just one time over our little F chord, and then a big C. Okay, then we just go back to the first melody. Let's learn a couple of licks. This is a nice, okay, so that's going to be, that's the C note, and a pull off starting at the B flat note with the ring finger. Then we slide it with the middle finger, or either one's fine, and then back to C. So that would flesh, that would, to use that as a way of fleshing out our arrangement, we could go. Another great one is chromatically leading up into the downbeat of the song. Okay, using that pinky to play the F sharp note. Okay, so that could work like this. Again, all this is being done while you're already holding down this partial C chord, and then you've only got these two digits to monkey with. So the boom, 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 right? Let's look at that one. So that's an open D string, and then a very quick trill with the index finger on the flat third. So that would be. Okay. Let's look at another one. Let's look at that. Okay, so that's C, open E, chromatically up to G, A, chromatically up to C. So that would be. See, we're starting to flesh things out with some chromaticisms and some passing tones that are, you know, a little more fun. Okay, and then if you want to extend that run a little further, you can bring it up. So. Chromatically walking to the G, to the C, to the E, like that. And last but not least, let's look at that. So that's nice. We're coming up to the 6 of the C chord, and then the flat 3, and letting it rub up against the natural third, the open E. Okay, so that E flat, it's like a blue note. So if we did a 6 chord with a 9 in it after that little chromatic run. It's kind of a subtle way of ending the tune. You could always do, if you want to be a little bit more traditional, or and last but not least, there's this nice little thing that I'll do sometimes where I'll do this ascending chord thing that I stole from Clarence White. So let's take it out of that. Okay, so that's C, raised 5th, 6th, or you can just do like an A minor shape and not play the A. Even if you do play the A, it sounds pretty good actually. Sorry. C7, F, F minor, C. So that would be, you know, lots of nice options in there, okay? So tune in if you like what you saw, heard, or learned. You know, like, subscribe, share, whatever. Hope you had a good day playing some acoustic guitar with me. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.